Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with the top 10 best Transformers I got in the year 2020. I mean, 2020 was a year. Let's all acknowledge that. 2021, as long as it's a bit better than 2020, will be a good year. Don't set your expectations high, but hopefully it's better. But I at least did get some Transformers that I thought were really good. So, as everyone's doing, let's do a top 10 list about it. I'm only doing top 10, not 20. We don't need to honor 2020 at all, really. There are a few runner-ups that I will discuss right before we get to the number one. So, without any further ado, let's get started with the top 10. Number 10, United EX Marine Master and Rotorbolt. So growing up, I only ever got two of the Power Course combiners, the Smolder and Huffer. This year, I happened to find Marine Master, who's the Japanese version of the mold, for a very good price, I must say. Complete, good condition and all that. And that kind of, it's a very nice mold. It has some issues because, it was from 2010. It has to incorporate combining gimmicks, but it's a mold I didn't have got a chance to hold or mess with before this year. The paint looks really nice. The gimmicks are fun, and it turns into a boat, which is not a shape you usually get from a Transformer. So it was just a fun experience messing around with something so interesting and weird. Kind of weird. And the Minicon partner Rotorbolt also makes a very nice companion piece to this set. I don't have any combiner limbs, Power Core combiner limbs to give the full effect of the super robot mode. But it did encourage me to go looking to try to get some more Power Core combiners throughout the later stages of the year. So that is why Marine Master is number 10. Number 9, Transformers Collectors Club Depth Charge. So this depth charge is based off the 2010 Transformers Terror mold, and last year that was a very good mold. It made it very high on my list that year, or was it the year before? Anyway, regardless, that's a very good mold, and this is also another very good use of the mold, representing a character who doesn't get a whole lot of toys at all, really. Nice to have kind of some form of a representation of this guy that's a bit more manageable than the kind of wieldy, the original Ultra with the incredible amounts of back kibble. But this thing has the same pros as Terror does, honestly. And that's kind of why it's here at number 9. Number 8, Generation Selects Super Megatron. So this is one of those Takara Generation Selects releases that's a bit funky and weird. I also got the Piranacons this year, and it could have been higher on this list potentially, but definitely entries like Super Megatron here kind of blew them out of the water a bit. This is based on the Titans Return Galvatron mold, which was pretty infamous for being how bad it is. And I never expected that mold would A, see use again, or B, actually be good, but they somehow managed to do it with this toy, and you've got so many different features and things you can do with it. You got just so many display options. Keeps it a bit fresh and interesting, more than some other toys just in general, It's just more options, more fun, Always more options are good. And that's why Super Megatron is number 8. Number 7, Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. This is a significant improvement over the Siege version. I don't know how much else to say about how good it is. I mean, you've got the Matrix, you've got a very compact transformation to get a very clean alternate mode, and you got the trailer there. I mean, it's not a perfect set at all, as evidenced by the non-F Productions upgrades I did to give the trailer at least some more beef or a good look to it, and as well as the Centurion drone accessories pack, providing some extra armament and accessories for Optimus and the trailer itself. I mean, it's very nice with the pieces that it does come with and the pieces that Hasbro did officially give it. It is needed a few different touches and even a different head. This is actually the head of the Siege version on this mold, and because it was just an easy swap, just because the silver paint on the face just makes those eyes pop so much better than the blue does. Imperfect, but this is definitely the Optimus Prime for me, and I would be shocked to see it knocked out of being the best Generation 1 Optimus Prime toy anytime soon. I know they'll try. I know they will. But for now, this is definitely the best, and that's why he is number 7. Number 6, Studio Series Deluxe Class Off-Road Bumblebee. Hands down, this is the best Bumblebee toy that has come out of the Studio Series line. Legitimately, though, even though it's a bit square, the transformation is correct, compact, accurate, and it just does what it needs to do to get across both the movie screen appearance as well as the alternate mode, which just packs away so nicely and neatly. It does require a couple of borrowed accessories from another set to feel like it completes the look, but that's fine because it was designed to be compatible with that regardless. I guess the only quote-unquote negative is that it is, as with most of the Bumblebees, kind of small, but I don't mind that, especially for how small that Jeep was in the film. And also, you can't really replicate the wing doors that, while Bumblebee in the movie for the most part didn't have, was seen on the Jeep body for a bit. But again, that's fine. That's completely fine because it gives you a more accuracy when it comes to the Jeep mode with it being able to push down the windscreen. The best Bumblebee from the movies, I think, personally. And that is why he is number 6. Number 5. War for Cybertron Trilogy, Voyager Class Soundwave with Ravage and Laserbeak. Now, I know it's Soundwave, so I'm probably a bit biased. And while this is very similar to the Siege toy in a lot of regards, I freaking love this thing. It gets the alt mode correct. It improves the robot mode to accommodate the cassette player mode. Does everything basically that the Siege version did, except without all of the battle damage, and with just the right amount of tooling to give it the new bits for the cassette mode, which is, again, very clean at the very least from the front. It probably would be a lot higher if the Siege one didn't exist and this was the first version of the mold that came out. But I mean, I can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with the Soundwave, especially one with the red eye visor, and that is why he is at number 5. Number 4. Generation Selects Deluxe Class Rotor Storm. So this is just a very, very good mold in general, but with the colors and the faux G2 neon and the amazing IDW head sculpt, there's just so many things about this toy that just makes it really, really good. Like, articulation is amazing. Transformation can be a little tricky to roll around, but once you do, you get a very solid, very smooth, sweet looking helicopter mode. And it's just good, man. It's just good. And that's why he's at number 4. Number 3, Cybertron Supreme Class Starscream. I This is only as high up as it is, probably because of my nostalgia and how much I've wanted this toy for so long. This is just a blown up version of a mold for the regular Cybertron line that was just not really existent in the US, except for like a weird repaint that was Starscream and I was a Toys R Us exclusive. This is just big and fun. It's just, it really shouldn't work at this scale because like there's so many limitations with the articulation and everything. But it's just so big, it kind of makes up for it, you know? It's just so fun because it's so big. Like what more could you say about this? It's just kind of fun to have like a 16-inch jet just you're able to fly around the house, you know? And that is why Starscream is at number 3. Number 2, Earthrise Deluxe Class Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper was one of the first figures out of the gate for Earthrise this year. Many, of course, complained about the size and whatnot, but when I got him in hand, I was just like, this is great. Like, yeah, it's small, but they're doing a scale thing. They provided enough parts to make it worthwhile for the price. And they just did a very fantastic job with it. It just ends up being so compact and transforms into a reasonably sized vehicle. Plus, its accessories not only just reference the moment in the first couple of episodes of the original Transformers cartoon where he has the big bazooka that misses Megatron, but it also converts into the water skis, which is another specific episode reference. Plus, the Centurion drone pack gives him his glass gas cannon, and you know, that just makes him really complete. The other versions of this mold I've got also very nice. Unfortunately, they come with the same accessory, so they're not as interesting. Even Bumblebee with the Volkswagen retooling still comes with the same accessories, and he's still great. But because he was my first experience for the mold, Cliff Jumper makes it in at number 2. And before we get to number 1, here are the runner-ups. Generation Selects Deluxe Class Exhaust. Earthrise Voyager Class Grapple. Earthrise Deluxe Class Smokescreen. Transformers Universe 2003 Minicon Refute. And now it's time for number 1. The number 1 toy, in my opinion, that I got in the year 2020 is Armada Rollout and Overload. I can't even believe I'm saying that to an extent. Like, this is wholly just a robot that's a brick. But I just being able to mess with it, just doing weird things with it and whatnot, just things I discovered about it while messing about with it. I don't know, it just made me really attached to it. Like, for a robot that turns into a vehicle, it's pretty, kind of bland. But just the addition of making the main, transport vehicle a Minicon, a separate robot, just adds an extra level into this whole thing. Because because Rollout not only is his own robot, not only turns into the main vehicle that carries the main body around, not only has the head form for Overload, but also has his own gun mode. So there's just so many options in the Minicon alone. And I even found configurations to make this look like a weapons platform kind of thing, and just just having that set up as the weapons platform was just so fun to me because like I didn't know the toy could do that, and it's just got all the things you need for it to be a good weapons platform. Honest, again, this one should not be as high as it is on the list, but just how it makes me feel and how my thoughts regarding it just for me, this has to be number one for 2020. So that was my top 10 list for the best Transformers I got in 2020. What did you get in 2020 that you really liked, or maybe even really disliked? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, you can click like and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. You can also check me out at RDSJ Gaming, where I play video games with Alyssa, aka the Rational Dove. And with all that being said, thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing out.